Hi, this is a video about a list of predictions fulfilled that I have on the to-do list. As people that watch me already know, every time I made a prediction, when it gets completed, I made special videos when I explain it on detail and give in-depth examples. But now I really don't have the time, so I will be making a fast list of some of the predictions fulfilled. Not all, but the ones that are easier to understand, and then, if I have the time, I will be explaining it on detail. This time, I will only be sharing the references and links to the videos for everyone who wants to check it for themselves. Okay, to begin with, I say that right after the middle of the year, because of the retrogression of the Great Conjunction, we were going to go back to beginning of 2020 or even 2019, just like after the fire of Notre Dame. And it happened that during all this time, in many countries, all the restrictions were being lifted. The world fires came back and the world protest came back, just like 2019 and beginning 2020. But not only that, another French church caught on fire, just like Notre Dame. In an interview at the beginning of the quarantine, I say that after the retrogression, when the Great Conjunction moves forward again, around these last months, the restrictions were going to get back, and it was going to be like an abyss. And I use exactly that word, an abyss. And not only in many countries, the government started to tread again with restrictions, but they are also using that specific word, the abyss. In this interview, I also say that was going to get activated a predictive programming to the style of the movie Fight Club. And just days after was discovered secret tapes about a group with a fight club training for an anarchist revolution, just like in the movie. And at the end of the last year, I say that was going to get activated the predictive programming of several movies. One was The Reaping, with apocalyptic themes and invasion of locusts. And we had exactly that. The theme of the end of the world and invasion, massive invasion of locusts, just like in the movie. Another movie was The Day of the Locust, with social chaos, destruction, ending up in the public execution of a man and the torching of big poles of communication. And we have all that, the riots, the destruction, the execution, and the torching of 5G posts. And the other one was also the movie V from Vendetta, with the execution of a citizen that leads to protest riots, ending up in the elimination of law enforcement. And we got exactly that. The law enforcement executed a civilian in the middle of the street, riots broke out, and was declared a zone of no law enforcement. And if you go to the clip on YouTube, you can actually see that people, after all this happened, say that 2020 is like that movie I just predicted some months ago, because I was just knowing astrology and basic astral synchronization. I also said that this year was going to repeat the synchronizations of last year, like Greta with her climate apocalypse that happened at the same time, with a synchronization of the movie Blade Runner, where it is shown a post-apocalyptic world ruled by robots, and at that time was also at the same time released the footage of the upcoming robots that will replace humanity. And this year happened exactly the same, in the same period, the same month. We got the return of Greta, accompanied by an apocalyptic clock marking the time to the end of the world, of course using the magic number 7, and we got a new picture of cities looking like Blade Runner, covered in apocalyptic mist, at the same time that again are released images of robots that will replace humanity. The same thing again. And like the synchronization of Trump, the chosen one, when in 2019, in August, the same date that was the great eclipse of his assumption as president, he screamed into the sky, "I am the chosen one," exactly when the planets align with his natal chart in the point where he has Regulus, the king star. That moment, last year, I knew that he was going to do something. I anticipated, and he screamed to the sky, "I am the chosen one." And I say that this year, all that was going to repeat, and exactly on August, when those planets align the same way, he said that talked to God and he chose him again to do the same thing, God chose him again. The same ritual again. So, these people know astrology and know what they are doing, or the planets rule them like puppets. One of the two. Here we can say that there is no coincidence. I even said that this year was going to somehow come up the themes of astral magic and spiritual sex. And Trump retweeted a doctor that was against all this pandemic and the pandemic, right? It became viral because this doctor also talked about sex with spirits and astral babies. You can make this stuff up. I also say that this year was going to be great emphasis in the themes of Agenda 21 of world government. What do we got? Another theme was going to be virtual democracy. And we got all over the world Congress sessions at a distance via webcam. Virtual democracy. Another theme was going to be DNA editing. And we got the theme of the new vaccine that rewrites our DNA. I even say that it was going to be important, the theme of the awakening of the third eye. That is the mind side in the center of the brain. And that the occult forces in the government were trying to prevent it. And we got the meme of the COVID test that crosses into the center of your brain, into the pineal glands. Even before the quarantine begins, I projected the human sphere, and we got the bubble people. These are some of the more clear predictions that got fulfilled in the last months, that are marking the rhythm of the Great Conjunction and are a sample of the great transformation that is coming in 2021. Because in the 2000s, nobody really was prepared. Most people weren't prepared for what was coming and all the waves that follows. But now, with just a little bit of astrology and astral synchronization, we can actually predict the movie long before it's played. So many things that I projected happened, came to be, that if this year wasn't so disaster, I will just sign it as an author. 2020 by me. Well, that is just all for today. See you guys next time.